Hi, I'm Haley Van Dyke, and I'm sitting here with Aneesh Chopra, the first CTO of the United States. We were lucky enough to have Aneesh join us today at the FCC Spectrum Summit, where he chatted with Meredith Baker around spectrum policy in the United States. We fielded questions from Twitter, which we have a couple that we're going to ask Aneesh very quickly. First question is from Carlos Legarreta. What specific policies in the U.S. government are we using to promote innovation?
Well, the President's strategy for American innovation lays out three categories of policies. Policies that focus on the building blocks of innovation. That would be our commitment to nearly double the amount of investment in basic science, R&D, if you will, which we're committed to doing around the agencies of the National Science Foundation, NIST, and the Department of Energy's Office of Basic Science. It includes the President's commitment to encourage 5 million more Americans to get college degrees as part of his overall American Graduation Initiative, which includes resources over $2 billion in that initiative. And it also includes the President's commitment to enabling a broadband infrastructure for the country, which did include our Recovery Act investments in excess of $7 billion, plus a number of other activities. Today's discussion, chief among them, our policy framework around spectrum. We're also committed to, in the second leg of the President's strategy for American innovation, policies that will promote specifically open and competitive markets focused on entrepreneurship. And here the President's been focusing on ensuring that we get the right rules of the road. We went through a big debate on regulatory reform, but it's also our programs around open government, to release government information, to allow entrepreneurs to take advantage of that information and turn them into businesses and news that families and loved ones can use. Last and certainly not least, the President said that there are certain topics as a nation we need an all-hands-on-deck approach to catalyze breakthroughs to help us unleash a clean energy economy, breakthroughs to bend the healthcare cost curve through technology and investments. And here we added a number of investments in the Recovery Act, well over $80 billion in these areas alone, that were right now churning their way through the economy. We hope to build the jobs and the foundation for our economic prosperity in the future.
Great. Next question. How can government innovation benefit from access to mobile broadband?
Well, this is an exceptionally important question because there's really two pieces to this puzzle. There's the question of how we can unleash more cost-competitive services in support of government missions. So we spend $80 billion a year in IT, and we also have a pretty healthy operating budget within the federal government. So to the extent that mobility and applications that ride on mobile platforms can actually be used in a way to help us make our operational budgets more effective and efficient, we're very bullish on that. And my colleague, the Chief Information Officer, has been putting forward a number of programs encouraging that kind of thinking. But it's also about how we can achieve the mission objectives of the agencies, making sure that we have healthier food, making sure that we have a safer water system, making sure that we have a financial system that works. Here we need to connect with everyday Americans, and we believe that the mobile platform allows us to connect people in ways we could never have imagined, because not everybody can hire lobbyists and come to Washington to have their voices heard. So we've got to take advantage of the mobile platform to connect people in ways that they would never have even imagined. Just as a simple and a silly example, earlier this year the President wanted to find out what should the scientific and technological challenges be in this country. And we asked that question, and maybe 100 people engaged and wrote memos to the President, folks that live in Washington and know how Washington works. Then the President decided, as an experiment, why don't I pose this exact same question on my Facebook account and my Twitter account? And within 3 days, 1.5 million Americans engaged in some form or fashion to comment on or retweet or remessage what are the scientific and technological challenges we should face as a nation. This is what we think the power and potential of these new technologies can be, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet.
It's a great example of online citizen engagement.
Well, thank you for that.
Last question, we'll wrap up here. What do you personally think the largest game-changing application for consumers is on the market?
So, in all candor, my passion is to deliver the President's policy priorities in health, energy, and education. And I believe that some of the new tablet devices actually have the potential to unlock opportunities that we only could have dreamed about years ago. If we want every physician or nurse practitioner in America to compute or have access to computing power, it's just natural they're defaulting to mobile platforms, be them tablets or other mobile devices. So as new applications come into the healthcare space, I actually think it will lower the barrier and increase the likelihood that those stakeholders will participate in the program. And as we engage more in our healthcare IT program, I think it'll have impact on cost and quality improvement for the rest of us in the healthcare system. Similarly, I think in energy, Unclear exactly what it will mean for us to consume energy data in new and creative ways, but mobile apps I think are going to be a big part of the equation to help us consume less, be more efficient, and actually help us rid ourselves of our addiction to foreign oil. Last but certainly not least, I commented on citizen engagement. I do think there is a killer app here, which is connecting people to their country. Again, restoring faith in government. And I think people are starting to feel that in small and little ways. My deputy went down to Manor, Texas, population 6,500. And in Manor, Texas, they used a simple cell phone application so you could take a picture of a pothole, upload it to a website at no cost to the taxpayer, maybe $30 a month I think they pay, and to have the citizen know, when I tell you the pothole's here, I can see when you're going to fix it, and they can tell me when it's done. That kind of citizen engagement in ways we're just starting to scratch the surface of. Again, we highlighted citizen engagement. I think that's going to have a big effect on our country's psyche and our commitment and our faith and our support for our institutions of government.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you for your time, Aneesh. For those of you interested in watching more of the videos from the Spectrum Summit today, you can visit fcc.gov/live. Thanks. Thank you again.
Have a great day.